digital assets like cryptocurrencies. This East African country is positioning itself to become a major hub for digital finance, as well as to boost investments in that sector by establishing clear rules for the emerging industry. The chairperson of the Finance Committee in the National Assembly, Kuria Kimani, urged President William Ruto to sign the bill into law, as Kenya was one step away from joining the likes of South Africa to become the only African nation with laws to govern the digital assets industry. For more on this, we joined on the line by Kenyan economist Francis Sang. Francis, a very good afternoon to you. Good to have you with us. Welcome.
Good afternoon to you, and thank you for having me.
So, Francis, could this bill that set out to regulate digital assets be one of the efforts by Kenya to address the grey listing by the Financial Action Task Force?
Yes, it's part of it. But when you look at it in broader terms, many Kenyans already invest in crypto assets. So this bill was needed like yesterday, but I agree it's part of the term also to monitor and to monitor AML and counter-terrorism financing issues.
Now, if you look at the reasoning behind this law, it is to provide legal clarity for digital assets. But how do you strike that balance, though, between clarity and interference in the virtual asset space?
Yeah, to provide clarity, the main aim is for consumer protection. Because, currently, like in the Kenyan market, many consumers have been conned through schemes that look like these tech schemes and digital currency schemes, but you find that people are being put into things that are just out there that are fictitious, then people lose money. So by the government coming in, one of the main aims for consumer protection, and also to provide consumer protection will provide assurance in the industry. Once you provide assurance, it will attract more investors into that space, which already very many Kenyans are investing in that space, even before the regulations have come into place.
I am going to ask Francis if we can just take you back to our production team so we can try and call you back and have you on a better line so we're better actually able to hear you. Our apologies for that. So that's Francis Sang. He's an economist based in Kenya, and we'll be touching base with him once again in just a moment to get greater clarity on this bill. Well, it's a law right now, but once it's passed, it's a bill right now, rather, but once it does become law, how is it going to roll out? Who is going to regulate it? And are these efforts enough in order to address those issues of grey listing that Kenya had faced? It's exactly 17 minutes after 4 p.m. Central African time. Do stay with Africa in Business.
Got something to say? Are you passionate about issues that matter?
Do you have a voice that deserves to be heard?
Well, we've got the perfect platform for you. Call in or drop us a WhatsApp on +27 63 406 9126.
And we will call you back.
So you could have your say and be part of the conversation.
30 years of age. I just turned 30 on the 15th of November. So that's who I am,
It's not just talk. It's your chance to air your views.
Share your opinion.
Engage with a community that values your perspective.
Follow us on our social media.
Visit our website at www.channelafrica.co.za
and get ready to share your views
on Channel Africa,
the African perspective. Channel Africa, your voice, your sound, and your home. Stay logged right here.
It is 18 minutes after 4 p.m. Central African time. We continue our conversation with Kenyan economist Francis Sang. Francis, just before we ended our chat a moment ago, I was wondering, it is a bill right now. And when President Ruto does sign it into law, which entity will have the regulatory authority over the digital assets?
There are two entities. It will be a sort of a dual regulation, because the two entities that will regulate the industry are the Central Bank of Kenya and the Capital Markets Authority. Now, the purpose of the Central Bank of Kenya will be to license and to oversee the issuance of the coins, while the Capital Markets Authority will license and regulate the exchanges and the trading platforms that will be used for trading in the digital assets.
What are the back-end, side effects of widespread adoption of crypto or stable coins in Kenya? Could they possibly pose systemic risks in the country's banking system?
Yes, now that is something the government needs to look at. It will pose a risk, but it also provides an opportunity. It provides an opportunity in terms because it gives now another asset class in terms of investment, because the digital assets like the coins, they are like currency, but they're also like investment products because their value changes over time. So it brings a risk, but also you have to look at what percentage of digital coins compared to other investment platforms that are in the industry. So also that risk gives an opportunity.
So it certainly is an area that they'll have to tighten up quite closely and observe. We do know that cryptocurrencies are usually used for cross-border transactions. What are the international regulatory cooperation mechanisms that need to be in place in order for this law to be effective?
Okay, what the government has done in order not to veer off how because internationally crypto is being regulated. For example, in Britain, crypto is being regulated, and this law that has been passed by Parliament is heavily borrowed from the British law on crypto regulation. And some of the aspects is that these virtual asset service providers must have strong anti-money laundering and CFT policies. They must have a physical presence in the country. And this is also because of what I mentioned earlier in terms of consumer protection and also having a recourse. Who do you run to when things go south? So it's heavily borrowed, and it's in operation just like what Britain, the US, and I believe South Africa have done in their law in terms of implementation.
Francis Sang, we thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Very much appreciated, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's a Kenyan economist, Francis Sang, on the developments being made in the country in order to regulate cryptocurrency, really positioning themselves as a major hub for digital finance transactions. Takes us to 22 minutes after 4 p.m.
Africa in